Welcome to the Sacred Heart Coaches Show. There is no better way to kick off this episode than with the three-peat. The champs are in the building. Sacred Heart Cheerleading is back after another national championship. Head coach CJ Serino joins me in studio. Coach, congratulations once again. Just walk us through the moment when you heard your name as national champions once again.
It's just crazy. Every single year just is surreal. I never preach to the girls that we're gonna win. We definitely don't start off our practices with the goal in mind of needing to win. So to get down there and having compete in semis, knowing that we were coming out of semis in first place, and then again to compete at finals and hear our names called as the last ones, and knowing that we took home a third national title is just, it's crazy.
Now, in cheerleading, you know, it's you have that one chance to go perform.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be on your game, locked in. What do you tell the girls before they go out there that, you know, how they perform is, you know, all or nothing in terms of winning another championship?
I tell them to trust their training first and foremost, because you prepare for this for 6 months. The season starts August 3rd and you're preparing this one routine. You've got one shot, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to give it your all. So they're always prepared by the time we get down to nationals. So I definitely always just tell them to breathe, trust their training, and have fun, which I think is the most important. I don't, like I was saying, I don't put pressure on them needing to win. That's not what our talk is about, like right before they take the nationals mat. It's just to have fun, cheer each other on, trust your training, and I always tell them to like lock it up and tighten it up. So, which they know, that just means to obviously execute the skills to the best of their abilities. So I try to relieve some of that pressure because it's a very, very nervous feeling. So I just ultimately tell them to have fun and trust what they know that they can do.
Well, these past 3 years, you know, obviously 3 national titles, and you mentioned the work that it starts back in the summer and leads up to that one performance. How rewarding, refreshing has it been for you as a head coach to see this work pay off over the past 3 years?
It's honestly the best feeling in the world, because no one really knows how much work you put into it except the coaching staff and the athletes. And they're practicing 5 days a week. They're lifting twice a week. They're cheering at football and basketball games. We're at open house events. We're at community service events. There's just so much that they do in the season, and they work so hard. So to get down there and find out that you won and you're taking home a third national title in consecutive years is honestly just the best feeling.
And before this final championship run, back in the summer, it was announced you would be joining Sacred Heart in a full-time role. Now, that's very rare around this area. Only one of 2 coaches in the Northeast, one of very few outside of the Power 5 schools to have a full-time cheerleading coach. To be an alum here, to win national titles, to be full-time, where does that rank among all the accomplishments that you've had here?
It's awesome. I always just think to myself, who wouldn't want to do what they love so much full time? Like, I honestly really don't consider coaching cheerleading a job to me, because I love it. And I know it's like a little bit dramatic to say, but it truly is my life. It's very hard for me especially to turn it off. So what's better than being able to like go to practice for 6 hours out of your day? And I have such an amazing group of athletes. I'm very fortunate to coach such an amazing group of athletes. So yeah, it's great. It's honestly like the best of both worlds.
Sacred Heart Cheerleading, 3 straight years, 3 straight national titles. Coach Serino, thanks so much for joining me. Congratulations once again.
Thanks.
Welcome back to the Sacred Heart Coaches Show. Let's switch gears from cheerleading to men's volleyball. 4th-year head coach Bob Bertucci joins me in studio as you guys begin your season this Saturday. Coach, welcome.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate you inviting me to be here.
Now, you guys have had an exhibition match against Springfield, kind of as a tune-up before your season starts. What did you see during those games that you liked, wanted to improve on before you guys start?
Well, it was a good game for us to play. I mean, Springfield is a very good program. Usually the best or one of the best in the Division III. Gave us a chance to really look at our team and see, where we're we need some work, where our weaknesses are. You know, you get used to playing your own team, and you look really good against your own team because everybody knows what everybody else is doing and they have a certain system that they're playing. So that was a chance for us to play against somebody else. A little different style, very fast offense they run. So it looks like we need to do some working on our blocking because we weren't getting there quick enough. And we saw some defensive things that we need to improve on. But all in all, we got better each game as we played. Third game was real close. I mean, we had 2 or 3 game points there that we could have finished it out. And then we won the last 2 games, so I think that was a positive ending for us for the first outing.
Yeah, and your team is still on the younger side as you enter this season, and last year you had some of those growing pains, but how do you see their progression from last year carrying into this year as you guys start your season?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a huge difference right now. I mean, last year, being the COVID year, and things just coming off of COVID, and having a kind of a strange schedule. Sometimes we'd have these 6 players playing, and next week we'd have these 8 players were able to play, and it kept switching. Our freshmen got a lot of playing time. Probably more playing time than you usually get in a freshman year. So as a result, they've gotten maybe 2 years or 3 years of playing time in that 1 year. So we've seen a big improvement in our sophomore class now from when they were freshmen last year. And we have a very strong freshman class that came in. And I think we are still very young. I mean, the majority of the team is freshmen and sophomores. But we're real strong in those 2 years, and I think that bodes well for the program moving forward.
When you have a young team, it gives you that unique opportunity to instill a culture, build a culture, and have these players who are just coming into your program buy into it. What have you been able to do to build that culture and have your players buy into what you're preaching to them?
Yeah, it actually starts more with our couple of seniors that we have and a couple of juniors that we have, because we've been working on that now for a few years. And they've really bought into everything. And with the freshman class, getting as much playing time as they did and being, thrown into the fire right from the get-go, they pay pretty close attention. These guys are really doing a nice job right now. And I think we pretty much have everybody understanding what we're trying to do offensively and defensively, and that's really helping.
Now, this season is going to be your last season in the EIVA conference before you make the switch to the Northeast Conference like so many other Sacred Heart programs are in. Just what are your initial thoughts on being able to make that move and sort of joining the conference that many of the Sacred Heart programs are a part of? Yeah,
it's a little bit bittersweet. I mean, even when I was a player, 100 years ago, I played in what is now the EIVA. It was the ECVL. So, it was nice to be back into that league. I think it's a great league on the East Coast for volleyball, but it is just a volleyball league, and the fact that now we're going to be part of a real league, a conference it's a multi-sport conference and recognized by the NCAA as one of the premier conferences. I think that's real good too. So it's kind of bittersweet there. I think the most important thing is it's a big step for men's volleyball. Having a conference, there's only been 2 conferences right now that have added men's volleyball in its entirety, and NEC was one of those leading conferences. So I think that's great, and that's really good for the growth of men's volleyball down the road.
Men's volleyball kicks off their season this Saturday. You can watch it on NEC Front Row. Coach Bertucci, thanks so much for joining me. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.